All right, I want to take you now to California. Deirde Fitzpatrick joins us now. She is a news anchor with KCRA Television. She joins us now from Sacramento, California. Deirde, good afternoon to you. You, like a lot of journalists right now, particularly in California, are covering this story. Talk to us a little bit about what has been the reaction since the FBI said this was an act of terrorism.
It's interesting. It's only been 2 days, and by about yesterday, I think there were many indications that perhaps this is the direction that this story was going to go. So I think it's disappointment by many people to find out that this may be that this is indeed what they're going to be looking at. And I think there's a lot of surprise because on the outside, these were two individuals who seemed very normal to many of his coworkers, to Farouk's coworkers. They had just had a baby 6 months ago. He had been employed by his employer for the last 5 years, had a pretty good relationship with his coworkers from what most of them could tell. So to them, it has been incredibly surprising.
And I'm wondering if we compare what we've seen in San Bernardino to what we saw in Paris just a few weeks ago. I mean, there are some huge differences. One being that these were two people who everyone said appeared to be completely normal. The FBI says that they had no files on the suspects. I mean, there were no clues at all that we know of. What is that doing to Americans and their sense of security?
I think it just makes you question a lot of things, and I think that's the reaction that our crews have been seeing is people saying, "I just never saw it coming," and that has been for law enforcement in this country since 2001 with the 9/11 attacks. There has been a real plea. If you see something you think is not right, if you see something that's suspicious, we ask you to report it. I think people still struggle, however, with knowing what is unusual and is this an unusual behavior? Am I seeing something that really isn't there? And with these two individuals, there really doesn't seem to have been a whole lot. Like I said, his coworkers just kind of knew him as an average guy. He wasn't a loud guy. He wasn't a guy who spoke a lot about what was on his mind or his beliefs. He was just a coworker. So there's such shock by so many of the people who actually had worked with him or who did know him. There weren't those real obvious warning signs or a really lengthy record with authorities where these were two people who were being watched.
Do you think, Deirde, that there is a fear in the United States that we're seeing a new type of terrorism now where, I mean, we're not even talking about sleeper cells. We're talking about people who look just like me and you who have normal lives and then decide to go to a Christmas party and kill people?
You know, I don't know that there's necessarily a fear per se. What I think is that there is an awareness that we live in very, very different times and that you need to have a healthy sense of fear about certain things. So, for example, I'm standing here at the California State Capitol where this weekend we have the California International Marathon, which will be going on. So a gathering of about 12,000 athletes and tens of thousands of fans. So things like security here have changed a lot since the Paris attacks. We have many law enforcement agencies who do additional security along the course. I'm part of the group that helps put on the marathon. And we had to ask that question in the last 24 hours. What else do we need to do? Are there additional things? Do we have any concerns? So as closely as you monitor security, you try to add an extra level, but you also ask people to just be aware and just keep their eyes open and just be smart. That doesn't mean you have to be scared, but you need to be smart.
And Deirde, just quickly before we let you go, has security been increased there at the marathon because of what happened in San Bernardino?
We actually had increased because of what had happened in Paris and because of just the heightened level of security within this country and awareness.
Okay.
So we had actually preemptively made some changes to it. I think now everybody is just that little bit more aware.
All right, Deirde Patrick with KCRA Television in Sacramento, California. Deirde, thank you very much.